morning, guys. I'm sorry that I didn't get this recorded yesterday. I was just crocheting reindeer and whatnot and sleeping. I wasn't feeling too good yesterday. I was a little bit nauseous. So I slept a huge chunk of the day away, and then I crocheted during the evening. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys what I have left after the Halloween season at Scream Hollow. Now I have not gotten paid my consignment money yet. I don't know if they're gonna be, they might end up doing that after Twisted Christmas. Because at that point it will be, Scream Hollow will be closed for like couple months, I think it is. But anyways, I wanted to come on here and show you guys what I have left. I did make a total of 40 bats. But we're going to start with the ghost first, just because they're what's handy right here. My table is piled up. So these are the glow-in-the-dark ghosts that I made, and I have 2 of these left. I made a total of 3, and I was selling them for $40 out at Scream Hollow. And I got these little handmade tags. I got these little handmade tags off of Temu, and I got them after I ran out of the heart-shaped ones that I was using. And I'll have to do another video on these guys here in a little bit, so I'm just going to put them down there. And then this was my first attempt. He has fluff of some kind coming off of him. This was my first attempt at a ghost. I used Bernat crushed velvet for this guy. And his little end that's woven in is poking out. So we're going to stick that back in. Go back in there. His holes are a little bit larger than what I would like him to. It's actually doubled crushed velvet. I held 2 strands together. I did not like how this guy turned out. The color was labeled as white, but you can see he's got some beige colors going on in there. He did not sell. I didn't care for this particular pattern. I didn't care for the yarn that I used. I just didn't care for how this guy turned out. But, maybe there is somebody out there that will give him a home eventually. I don't know. So he's going to go in the bag for later, because a lot of these guys are probably going to go back to Scream Hollow once the 2024 season starts. So a lot of these guys will probably be going back up there at some point. So let's see what I got over here. I have 1 of these little ghosts. Now, this ghost is made out of just white acrylic yarn versus these 2, which were made out of the Red Heart metallic. I don't know if you guys can see the glitter on these guys. I'm not sure how many of these guys that I made. I know I sold 2 or 3 of these ones, and at least 2 of the ones that did not have the glitter in them. But I was selling these guys for $25 each. And I've just got these 3 guys left. So total, out of all the ghosts, I have 2 glow-in-the-dark out of 3 left. I have 1 velvet ghost octopi looking thing, the one I didn't like, and then I've got 3 of the smaller acrylic ones. Now, out of the bats, I know I made a total of 40, Some of those were mini bats. All of the mini bats sold. For the mini bats, I actually used this Crochet socks by Patons. I had picked this up at the Hobby Lobby clearance back, I think, in March or May or somewhere around in that time frame. And I got a bunch of this, and it was originally priced at $7.99. I paid $2.24 per ball, and I have 6 balls of this. And I actually used these to make the mini bats. What I did is I held 2 strands together to make those mini bats. And I do have this yarn in 2 different colors. I'm thinking about making some teal ones for next season. Because I don't really make socks. So all of the mini bats sold. And I was selling those for $12.50 each, and I think I only made maybe 5 or 6 of those. Not very many. So now what I have left out of the larger bats, these ones are made mostly out of Red Heart yarns. So acrylic, and I was selling these guys for $25 each. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the little heart-shaped tags that I was using before I ran out, and that's when I got those Temu ones. These ones are from Hobie. You get them out of the point store at Hobie. Now, I did have a 6th one of these left over, but Casey wanted one to give to one of her friends who's having a birthday party this Saturday. So, out of 40 bats, I have 6 of the, I guess you would call this my regular size bats, left. I know I sold at least 23 of the regular size bats, so that is what, 23 plus 6, that's 29. At least 29 of the bats were regular sized, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know how many of the mini bats I made, but it seems like I made more of these size bats than I did the mini size bats. But like I said, I know that I sold a minimum of 23 of these guys at $25 each. And I don't know. I think these 3, here, hold on. These 2 are actually made out of the Red Heart Super Saver retro stripe. And actually, this one is a little bit dirty. You can see, sitting in the gift shop, you know, people paw on them and they want to touch them and their hands are not always clean, which does bug me a little bit, just because, you know, like, I spent time making these and you're grabbing all over them, and I really wish people wouldn't do that, but at the same time, I'm selling them. Like, it really bugs me when people, you know, touch the amigurumi with dirty hands. You guys can see, look, he's got a dirty smudge on the back of his head. They touch them with dirty hands, and then they don't buy them, and that bugs me really badly, because now I'm gonna have to go through and, like, spot clean these guys, because I just don't want them dirty for next season. I don't know. I might put these guys up in Scream Hollow as well for the Christmas season. You never know. And then I have 3 of the ones that are made from the Bright Stripe left. Now, the one that Casey took, I believe, was made out of the Retro Stripe. She wanted one that was going to be like a teal color, and I tried to do that for her using this yarn here, which apparently is not great for amigurumi. Let me see if I can find a ball that's got the label on it. This is Gazal Rock and Roll. If you guys recall, I made a sweater out of this stuff, and so this is what I had left over. And it is a lightweight 3, and it is 21% acrylic, 70% polyamide, and 9% merino wool. It's really soft, and for her birthday present to her friend, she wanted a teal bat, and I thought this is kind of a cool yarn. It's got a metallic sheen to it. That'd be cool for like a 10-year-old. So I did try to make one of the bats out of this yarn for Casey, but after I got all the parts made and I got to the point where I was sewing it together, I found that the yarn kept breaking when I was trying to sew it together. You can see it kept breaking. So this yarn is just not suitable for amigurumi. And I love to experiment when it comes to amigurumi with different types of fiber content and different yarns. It doesn't always have to be acrylic or a cotton acrylic blend. I've made stuff out of wool that held its shape, and didn't fall apart. I just think that particular yarn, it's chain spun for one. This yarn is chain spun, and that might play a huge part in the reason as to why it's breaking. See, it doesn't fall apart too hard or too bad. It's actually kind of hard to break. But with sewing it, and I'm assuming it's because it's chain spun, I'm not really sure, but I think it's because it's chain spun that's why it was falling. It's not even that it was falling apart. The actual sewing end kept breaking. And I don't know if it was because it's chain spun or, maybe the friction with the fibers rubbing against each other as you're sewing. Or maybe I just happened to catch it and tear it while I was sewing. Catching it with the needle could possibly have been the reason why. Maybe I tore the sewing thread or the sewing end with the needle. I don't know. But I scrapped that project and just gave Casey one of the leftover bats so that, oh, my hair is all frizzy and all over the place. Kiwi, what are you doing? So, I done lost my train of thought. You see what this bird does to me, guys? Yeah, I scrapped that project and just gave her one that I had made out of the, for Scream Hollow. She picked the one that she wanted, and it was a striped one made with the retro stripe. And that was the only skein of retro stripe that I have, but I really like how the colors played out in these bats. With the softer pink. That one's this is the same one that's got this smudge. Just the way the color changes were, they were short enough color changes in the red heart stripes that I could get several different colors into each little bat, and so I thought that was pretty cool. And the colored ones actually seem to sell better than just the plain black ones. Now I do have another one started that I never got finished for Scream Hollow, another one of the bats, the soft ones made out of the Bernat crushed velvet in gray. I never finished that one. So he'll probably just sit over there in my, what do you call it, basket for unfinished whips that eventually I'll get around to. I've got a lot of unfinished items that I started for Scream Hollow, including a Baphomet and a witch, which hopefully I'll be able to get finished, by next season. Actually, I'm sure I probably will. Here was the witch that I started I still have to finish her hair, and then I have to indent the eyes, but I was using some Hobie yarn to get this ombre effect and that sparkle. I believe it is, yeah, it's Universe. Hobie Universe XL is what I was using to make her hat. Hello, Kiwi. And her dress. And then the Baphomet, I am actually using these yarns back here. So this Baphomet pattern is actually designed to be like 2 feet tall. But I'm using, instead of using a weight 4 yarn, I think these are like a weight 2 or weight 3, I am using, you know, these yarns back here, which I got off of Amazon. So this is the head of the Baphomet, and so he's clearly not going to be 2 feet tall. But, you know, eventually, and this is his body, and he's gonna be big enough to cuddle, but he's not going to be 2 feet tall. Now, I did have plans to try to make one of these guys that was 2 feet tall or bigger. But that's going to require me, what I'll have to do is I'll have to go buy some Premier, just, with your tail feathers in my camera, sir. What the idea was is that I would go get one of those cones, by Premier, the Just Chanel, in a cone, and I would make it with that, and probably I will eventually do that. It's just, right now I'm trying to conserve finances and use what is in my stash, because I have a ton of yarn, and I should use some up before I go buying a bunch more. And I've got plenty of red and black yarn, or pink, and yeah, I can make the 2 feet one with just regular old worsted weight yarn, instead of going bigger. Kiwi, your little toes, buddy. Hello. Tell everybody good morning. Say good morning. Go ahead, tell everybody. No? Okay. But anyways, I can make one of the 2 feet tall Baphomets, with like Red Heart Super Saver, and then if I want to go bigger than that, I can get the Just Chanel from Premier. But for now, we're just gonna stick with what I've got in my stash. I don't know. Anyways, guys, so that's what I have left, from Scream Hollow for the Halloween season. I am still working on reindeer and snowmen. I have 2 snowmen completed, and then I've got an assembly line of 4 reindeer going. This pattern, I actually altered a little bit to make the muzzle, but I got 4 of these guys going at the same time. Like I said, I'm just doing like an assembly line style type thing. Because at some point I will have the pattern memorized, and then I won't even need to look at the video anymore. I'll just work them up. That's what happened with the bats. At one point I reached, you know, it was just, and still now, you know, when I made started to make the one for Casey using this yarn, I thought maybe I would need the pattern. Turns out I don't. Like, it's just ingrained in my brain. I have made that bat so many times in such a short period of time. It's just burned in there. Maybe by next season, you know, I won't need, or I'll need the pattern again. Or maybe next season I'll try a different style of bat. So out of 40, I have 5 plus the one that Casey took, so that's 6. So for a 4-week or 5-week, in 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. I think it was 5 weeks. In 5 weeks, I sold 20. Yeah. Not 27. 30. 34 bats, I think. 40 minus 6. I sold 34 bats. So the plan for next season is to have a minimum of 40 bats made up by the start of next year's Halloween. So I can like make a list of stuff that I need to have finished before the season starts next year. That's a good kind of outline to start with. I know I need, at least 40 when the season starts, because we're definitely going to go through at least that many. Ghosts, I would probably put, I don't know how many I made this season, because it was kind of a last minute thing, but I think for next season I'm gonna probably do 20 of the smaller sized ghosts, and maybe, I don't know, 5 of the larger ones. Now, the larger ones, I'm gonna have to find a chenille yarn that I like. The glow in the dark yarn, if it's still available, sorry guys, I might, well, I'll have to pick up some more. I think you can get it from Temu year round, but I'm not sure. And I might try the cotton glow in the dark yarn instead of the chenille, because this stuff is very crunchy. However, like I said, I do have to make a new video on these because I finally figured out how to get this yarn to glow. So anyways, guys, that is about all I have for you guys today. Yeah, I'm just gonna get back to work working on reindeer. I do have an upcoming yarn haul video at some point whenever the order gets here. It's not much. And I also bought some something that I want to show you guys for which is also going to be a thing for Scream Hollow. But anyways, I don't know when that's going to come in either, but when it does, you guys will get to see it. So there's a couple of things that I do want to show you guys. Just keep an eye out for new videos. Hopefully I get them out in a little bit of a better fashion. I'm not being very timely about my videos lately. I've been really enjoying these last 4 days off. Although tomorrow is my last day off, and then I have to go to work. I gotta go to work on Saturday. But anyways, guys, I will catch you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys do enjoy the videos, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment below. Let me know what you guys think about all of the critters that I've been making. I know I haven't been focusing much on wearables. I have like 3 or 4 different wearable designs that I've been working on to put up as tutorials, and I just haven't gotten around to finishing them. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think about this phase of amigurumi that I'm going through, because I've just been doing a whole lot of amigurumi. So yeah, give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!